Richie, you're very welcome. You want to hit the buttons. And what a week. What a week. And what a leak from the PSNI. When I heard this story, it reminded me of one time I was having a chat with a local guy who works fitting alarms. And this guy said to me, Jake, you would not believe how many people in nationalist areas have their alarm code set at 1690. And in unionist areas, it's set to 1916. Because nobody would ever think of that. Well, it seems our PSNI security protocols are on a similar level. What the Chief Constable, Simon Byrne, himself called an industrial level leak of sensitive information. 10,000 officers, members of staff, and auxiliary were all vomited online. And it was initially, I noticed they were trying to frame this as an unfortunate human error by a junior member of staff. And I immediately went online and went, no. I could see them marching this child up to the gallows. I went, no. This goes far beyond one person with an errant finger. You know what I mean? We've subsequently discovered that the leaked information passed through 5 PSNI processes in 4 different departments. So in other words, it wasn't the fault of the child who pressed the wrong button. It was the fault of those in authority who put the button there in the first place. All this occurred after a Freedom of Information request was received, and in answering that request, inadvertently, they stuck on a spreadsheet with all these details. Now, let's have another look at just the level of detail that was leaked.
Names of every staff member in the PSNI released by accident as part of a Freedom of Information request. In all, almost 11,000 names were released as part of this mistake. That's every single officer as well as civilian employees. It was all in a spreadsheet, so let's see what else was in this spreadsheet. There were the surnames of individual staff members and also the first initial of their name in there. It also detailed where they were based. In some cases, some of them were based with MI5. And also the kind of work they did has been included in this document. In addition to all of this, the PSNI said this evening, they're now reviewing a second data breach.
The only thing that didn't leak was what these people want for their breakfast. That's about the only thing they haven't put online. And at the time, the PSNI came out with a statement. And this is the statement they came out with. As a service, we are acutely aware of the seriousness of this breach and have declared it to be a critical incident. No shit, Sherlock. We fully understand the very real concerns felt by our colleagues and their families, and we are working hard to do everything we can to mitigate any risk. Horse bolted! Horse bolted! We are working with our security partners and organizations to investigate this incident. Somebody else needs to investigate this incident. The PSNI should not be involved in investigating this incident. We have issued updated personal security advice to all our officers and staff and have established an emergency threat assessment group that will look at the welfare concerns of our people. Bit late now. As well as general advice on safety and security, this multidisciplinary group will focus on immediate support to those with specific circumstances which they believe place them and their families at immediate risk or increased threat of harm. Let me translate that for you. Catholic cops, many of whom have never even told their immediate families they're in the police, and now it's online. There's going to be some very awkward conversations in houses across the country for the next couple of weeks. Of course, much was made of Chief Constable Simon Byrne returning from his summer holidays to deal with this situation. I'd humbly suggest it'd have been better if he just stayed where he was. You know what I mean? Because he's not going to help any of this because he's responsible for this. Remember, this is the man who only a couple of weeks ago was spending his energy and time barring LGBT officers from wearing their uniform during the Pride Parade. That was his focus. That's what he was looking at. This totally passed him by. Oh no.
That's all, folks.